Hello, welcome to this tutorial. My name is Cecile, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show us how to connect our CentOS 7 server to the network. So I'm going to quickly bring up my server. This is my CentOS 7 server. Now, there are two types of IP, probably more better. Real quick, there's what we call dynamic IP address and a static IP address. Right now, this system is connected to the network, to my LAN, that it has what we call a dynamic IP address. That means by the time I shut the system down and bring it back on, the IP is going to change. And that's the dynamic. But static IP address is a type which the system sets it up. And after you set up the IP, it's permanent, It's set up just for that particular LAN or local area network. So move that system to a different LAN, it's not going to be connected to that network or to that LAN. It won't have internet connection. So real quick, if I do IPA, this is the current IP address of the system. And now we're going to change that to a static IP, which is as well connecting the system to the network, okay, to the present LAN, to my home LAN. You also be your home LAN or wherever you're sitting in, you have internet access. So to do that real quick, we need certain informations, okay? We need to know the default gateway of the LAN, current LAN. We need to know the DNS information and the class of IP, okay? And you could find this CentOS 7, first of all, is a virtual system sitting on my physical machine, that I'm using, and the physical machine is connected to my LAN, to my local area network, and it has internet access. We will need to enable my virtual machine equally have internet access and become a static IP address. So to get those information, you could just go to PowerShell. PowerShell, you could just use your search bar at the bottom, type PowerShell. It's going to bring up Windows PowerShell, and when it brings up Windows PowerShell, you type in the command ipconfig. That's all this command right here, ipconfig space /all. It's going to give you the internet configurations of your current system. And right there I know, okay, like the DHCP information is 10.0.0.1. My default gateway is the same, and this is the IP address of my system. Don't worry, that can change. And that's the subnet mask. The class is a 255.254. That's class C. Class. It tells us that's a class C IP because the subnet mask. So real quick, we know what that is. So let's go back to our CentOS server right away. Now we're going to do that. To do that, we type the command nmtui, and that opens this little window, or GUI. And you could do it via the command line, which is where we started. But this nmtui command brings up this little window that enables us to do things, real quick. So I'm gonna hit edit and connect. I hit enter on my keyboard after having that option selected or highlighted, and hit enter again on my keyboard, and we see we're working on the IPv4 configurations. Now it shows automatic, okay, and the network configuration options are not showing. So we move to show, hit enter on your keyboard, and it brings up, it expands the window. Now we can do our configurations real quick. To change an IP to static IP, you have to change the option to manual. So right now it is automatic, and I hit enter on my keyboard with automatic highlighted. Scroll down to manual, select manual. Manual means it doesn't, you're doing it manually and it doesn't change. It remains static and permanent by the time you're done. So hope you're following along as I go. Addresses. So now we can put in our IP address. I'm just gonna, based on the information I have on my system, on my physical server, which is 10.0.0.95, so I'm gonna give it an IP address within that same class. So let's say 10.0.0 dot let's say 100 slash 24. 24 equally, we don't have to put in the subnet mask because 24 takes care of that. So that's why we put slash 24 at this point, and we move down to our gateway, which is 10.0.0.1. Our DNS information, definitely better friend. So I go back to my PowerShell physical server information, and right there we see our DNS IP information. So I'm going to put in the same DNS information into the CentOS server, and that's going to be 75.75.75.75. Same thing. I hit enter after highlighting the option for putting the figures. 75.76.76. Okay, let's keep going. We scroll down again. Require IPv4 addressing for this connection. We gotta make sure that is highlighted or selected. In your system, it might not show the X. This is what it might look like. So you have to hit the space bar on your keyboard to select that option. Same we do for automatically connect. Make sure it is selected, available to all users. Make sure all of that is selected. Hit OK to proceed. We're done with that. Scroll down to the back option and hit enter on my keyboard. Now we're done with that. The next part is the host name. We have to assign a host name to the system, because what happens with the host name is the IP address is being attached to the host name. What happens is so it's being mapped to the IP address is being mapped to the host name and vice versa. Okay, so set system host name, enter, and I'm just going to change that to Cecil host. Hit OK, and we're done. Now activate a connection. Okay, this is one little critical part. When you get to this part and it says deactivate, you just have to leave it the way it is. Why? Because this is the NIC. If you go and deactivate, you're deactivating your NIC on your system. If it says activate, that's when you highlight that option, you hit enter on your keyboard to activate the NIC. But right now it says deactivate, which means the NIC is already activated, and if you select deactivate, you're going to deactivate the NIC. So we leave it the way it is, scroll down to the back, and we're done. And I'm just going to hit OK. One last thing, so after putting in all the network configurations, now we type in the command service network restart. You either do this or you restart the system. But what if you're working in a corporate environment and that system cannot go down, because a lot of people do have access and have accounts in that server. So you wouldn't want to reboot the system to enable all these new configurations you've done. So you just do service network restart, and it's gonna start your network services, and your system will be connected to that LAN permanently with a static IP address. So let's give it a few seconds. It's doing its thing. Boom, we're done. Okay, so again, let's verify the new IP we did put inside the IPA, and there it is, 10.0.0.100/24. Let's verify if our system is connected to the network. I'm going to ping using the ping command. There we go. So 6 packets transmitted, 6 received. So that tells our system is fully connected to the network, to my LAN. And if you did just right, it will be as well connected to your LAN. And when your system is connected to the network the way it is right now, you're able to have access to the internet and access to certain repositories, download certain packages or repositories and install in your system, and do many other things. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope this video taught somebody something, and stay tuned for many more little short tutorials coming up. Stay blessed. Bye.